Hello, my name is Aaron the Tutor, and today we're going to be going over integration by parts. So if you come across the integral of two functions being multiplied together, one of the ways to solve this is integration by parts. So this method includes the substitution of two variables, u and v. So what we do is we set u equal to f of x, which means if you take the derivative of u, du, that's going to be f prime of x. And v is going to be g of x, which means that dv, the derivative of v, is going to be equal to g prime of x, which you can see is in our integral. So when we integrate by parts, our final answer is going to be u times v minus the integral v du. Okay, so let's look at an example of this. So if we have the integral of x times e to the x dx, we have to use integration by parts. So we're going to use an acronym to determine what u and v are, or dv for that matter. So this acronym is going to help us determine which variable is which. So L is going to stand for logarithmic. I is inverse trig. So logarithmic is going to be your ln, your log, um, things like that. Your inverse trig is going to be things like arcsine or arctan. Your A, so A is going to be arithmetic. Sometimes things like polynomials. So if you have x, so you have x minus 1, x squared, things like that. T is trig, which is, of course, sine of x, cosine, tangent, things like that. And E is exponential. This is going to be things like e to the x, some constant to the x. So when we use this acronym, LIATE, your u value is going to be the first one you come across. So for this example, x is that algebraic arithmetic value, and e to the x is an exponential. So since a comes before e in the acronym, x is going to be u, and e to the x is dv. Remember, dv is the derivative of v, and our function is g prime of x, and dv, I'll write it down, dv is g prime of x, v is g of x. So for this problem, u equals x, du is the derivative of x, which is 1 dx. V equals e to the x, dv is e to the x dx, and v is the integral of that, which we know is just e to the x. So using our formula, uv minus the integral of v du, we're going to have x times e to the x minus the integral of e to the x dx. We can simplify this to x e to the x minus e to the x because the integral of e to the x is just e to the x. We can factor out e to the x and get our answer of e to the x times x minus 1 plus c for this indefinite integral. Now for our next problem, we're going to integrate ln of x dx. So for this integral, we can actually rewrite it as ln of x times 1 dx, and this means we can use by parts. So if we were to use our LIATE acronym, ln is going to be the L, logarithmic, and 1 is going to be this algebraic. Since ln comes first, it's our u, and 1 is our dv. So we take the derivative of u equals the derivative of ln of x, which we know is 1 over x. And the integral of dv is v, which is the integral of dx, which we know is x. So now using our formula, we have ln of x times x minus the integral of x times 1 over x. Oops, we forgot that dx. So x times 1 over x dx. So can we write this as ln of x times x minus the integral. So these x's are going to cancel. So the integral of dx, or 1 dx, which means we have ln of x times x minus x, which again we can factor. So our final answer is x times ln of x minus 1 plus c. That is the integral of ln of x dx. For our last example, we're going to be doing the integral of x times sine of x dx. So for this one, again, we're using our acronym. So we have our a, algebraic, is equal to x, and then sine is a trig function. So that is our t, which means that x equals u and sine of x is equal to dv. So now we will substitute in, if u is equal to x, du is equal to 1 dx, dv is sine of x, and v is equal to the integral of sine of x, which is negative cosine of x. Now we use our formula again, and we have x times negative cosine of x minus the integral of v du, which is negative cosine of x dx. We can rewrite this as negative x cosine of x plus, so we have two negatives, plus the integral of cosine of x dx. Now we know this integral is sine of x. So our answer is going to be sine of x minus x cosine of x plus c. Thank you for tuning in, and let me know if you guys have any ideas or things that you want me to teach. And I hope you appreciate this video and learned something.